Good morning. I haven't run on a trail in a while, so I came to Blydenburgh Park, and I'm going to be testing out the Adidas Terrex Speed Ultras today. So it's my first time wearing these trail shoes. So we'll take a run around the lake and see how these go for me. The tongue on these is interesting. It kind of wraps around your foot and sticks out right there. It becomes the majority of the upper. The upper itself is very, very thin, very tight fitting. There's boost in the heel and light strike foam around the rest of it. So it's got a dual layer midsole. This is a lightweight, tight fitting trail shoe, kind of more for running fast on the trails. So let's give it a go. Bit of a report on these as we go here. Definitely a very firm trail shoe. The boost does not compress all that much. Very thin upper, very form-fitting, low to the ground. Could be useful for technical trails or anything where you're not looking to roll your ankle, but also not very forgiving. I wouldn't want to take these for an ultra race or a really long trail race. I feel like might be wanting for some additional cushion. Onward. Coming up to one of the coolest parts in this run. Just past 3 miles in, and we get to this random pink house. And then the view. Gonna stop here for a minute. It's nice to get out of the neighborhood and feel like I'm somewhere else for a little bit. This is the other really cool part of this trail. There's this bridge that kind of goes through the woods, and it goes on for I think about a half a mile. So let's take the bridge. No horses allowed on the bridge. And now we reach the end. Not a bad spot to end the run. So today I'm reviewing the Adidas Terrex Speed Ultra. I miss when shoes just had one name, like the Pegasus, or just the Pegasus 39. I wish we'd get away from these, million names for every shoe. But after watching that video, I felt really relaxed. Anybody else feel that way after watching that with the music and the woods? I was like, maybe I should light some candles, hop in a bath for a little bit. No, I don't fit in the bath. I'm 6'4". I actually only tried to take a bath one time in my house after I ran my first marathon. I tried doing an ice bath because I thought, that's supposed to help recover your legs. But I quickly realized that I didn't fit in the tub and that I prefer using a massage gun to, freezing my off in the tub. So that was the last time that was ever attempted. I'll read you a little bit of the bio on this shoe from Adidas' website. Lightweight and comfortable, the Terrex Speed Ultra is packed with innovations that give athletes an edge. Tom Evans, a British distance runner, tested different versions of the shoe for 2 years and helped them craft it to completion. He then took it and won the Tarawera race wearing it. I don't know what that is because I don't do ultras or a lot of trail running. He thinks it's magic, but it's just skill paired with science, according to Adidas. Basically what they're trying to do here, they took the tread on this, they says is inspired by gravel bike lugs. So they're not very deep lugs, but that also kind of makes this a pretty decent road to trail shoe because it doesn't have really big lugs. It has the torsion system, a plastic part in the middle here. There's no plate in this shoe, also no rock plate. So I wouldn't take this on like a really rocky trail. I also wouldn't want to use it for a super long one. Apparently he did it and ran a really long race, but this shoe feels very firm to me to be using for a longer race. I guess that's the idea of having boost in the heel, is to make that a little bit more forgiving. But on that first run, it was also pretty cold and it was the first time I used the shoe. It did not feel all that forgiving to me. So definitely nimble, fast. It's got that going for it for sure. But softness was not something I was feeling from this shoe. So comparing this to some of the other trail shoes that I have here though, really the main advantage of this shoe is the fit. It fits like a glove and it's very light. This shoe, just put it on the scale again here. I'm getting 10.71 ounces right now. And just to compare that to a couple other shoes, this is the Hoka Speed Goat 4 in Gore-Tex. You can just see, just looking at these two shoes next to each other, it looks like this one ate this one. It's so much bigger. So this one is 13.85 ounces, so almost 14 ounces, so significantly heavier. This one has that thick stack of foam that Hoka's known for. It has the Vibram rubber, that grippy outsole, really, really wide footprint in the forefoot and the heel. So this is, even though it's tall, it's a stable shoe because it's so wide. And then obviously with the Gore-Tex, this has more, it's a warmer shoe, has more waterproof. It's not very flexible though. So I actually bought this shoe to use for winter running when there's, wet ground, snow on the ground, that kind of thing. Kind of looking for like a waterproof tank. So that's really what this is. Then I have the Peregrine 10 over here. This one, a little bit more flexible. This one does have a rock plate. It has some really aggressive lugs on here. So this can kind of handle better traction than some of those than the Adidas shoe. But this one also comes in at 12.7 ounces. And then I have one other trail shoe here. This is an older one. This is the New Balance Summit Unknown. This also is in Gore-Tex. And this one comes in at 11.59. So that's the closest one to the Adidas that I have here. These two shoes are kind of similar in that they're both kind of narrow and low to the ground for a trail shoe. So I initially had the Peregrine. This one didn't work for me. It only has a 4mm drop, and I felt a lot of rubbing in the heel with this shoe, so I really haven't used it all that much. I'm kind of just wearing it around, but I'm not using it for trails anymore because it just doesn't agree with me. The shoe has a thin kind of plasticky upper that does do a good job of letting water kind of keeping it out and letting it escape. The tongue on this is kind of interesting. It comes up much higher than a tongue usually does. Like this is where you lace it up, and then the tongue actually comes up a little bit higher than that on the top. It is actually padded in here. There's a piece of padding right in the tongue, right there where the laces go. So it does do a good job of absorbing that lace pressure right over the top of your foot. And I believe the reason why they have this come up higher is to try and help, dirt and other things from getting down into the shoe. So it is a very tight fitting upper. It's a very light upper. It's a somewhat flexible shoe, but the boost, you can really see the difference there. The boost is an immovable object here, and then it can flex at the toe. This New Balance shoe does have a rock plate right underneath there. You can see it's a very similar kind of layout here. This one's actually a little bit wider in the midfoot. This one kind of tapers in a bit there. But prior to getting this shoe, this was the one I used if I wanted to try and run faster on the trail. This also has Revlite foam, which is an older foam from New Balance that's also not very, it's hard. This is not a very soft ride in this one, but this is a waterproof kind of faster shoe compared to the Hoka. But really, if I was going to run a trail race, like anything like a 5K, 10K, anything like that, I would definitely reach for this shoe. It has the advantage in the lightness and the speed. It's very nimble on the trails. But I didn't find it all that soft, even with the boost in the heel. Again, I'll have to take this out for some more runs and see how it fares. This is another one, though, with buy it weight or second rate. This is one I would not pay full price for. It's $160. It's top of the line fast trail shoe, but I don't run on trails all that much, which is why most of those shoes still look pretty new. I really should try and mix it in more. It is nice, kind of a relief, break up the daily grind, get out into nature, exhale a little bit. It's definitely some major benefits to running on trails. Also gives your knees a little bit of a break running on, softer ground than pavement all the time. This shoe is $160 new, which is pretty expensive for a trail shoe. So I was actually able to get it for $50. So I'm very, very happy with the shoe for $50. But I don't know, if you're doing a lot of fast stuff on the trails, or you have a trail race coming up that you really want to shave down on the weight on your trail shoe, be able to get through those trails quickly and nimbly with lightness on your feet, it's a fantastic shoe for that. But at $50, amazing, but at full price, I don't know that I wasn't blown away by this shoe. It's definitely the fastest trail shoe that I have, but also when I'm running on trails, a lot of times I'm not trying to do it fast. You're really kind of more enjoying the scenery, and also a lot of times there's changes in grade. You're going up hills, down hills. You might have to slow down, speed up, change direction more. So I'm not always concerned about speed when running on the trail. So I'm definitely going to keep using these. I'll give an update as I continue to use them. Again, another one that I kind of like but don't love. Not a bad shoe, but it's not the Takumi-san of the trails that I was looking for. I would say this is more like an Adios 7 of the trails, where it's a firm shoe, good for going fast, but not as forgiving. So I'm going to keep using both of those shoes, the Adios 7 and this one, and see if they kind of soften up at all over time. But that's a good comparison, actually. This is kind of like an Adios 7 for the trail, almost the exact same feel, where it's fast, it feels good when you're kind of turning up the pace, but not as forgiving when you're going a little bit slower. So please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.